aggressive group of companies looking after the consumer products, actually, FMCG division.
Okay.
Assalamu
I
alaikum.
was talking to many companies here in India in FMCG, and they look forward to some opportunity of distributing their product in Pakistan.
They're welcome. As long as there is no restriction for the imports.
Yes, something has to be, something hopefully will work out.
Let's hope.
Vice versa.
Let's hope.
Yeah, vice versa. Fantastic if you can give us the products. We have many students here who are into family businesses, and they are looking forward to doing business with family businesses in Pakistan. Yes, sir. Next.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
My name is Rahim. I am from HB Technologies.
Okay. What is the business of your company?
Online business, data entry projects.
Okay, okay.
My name is Imtiaz, owner at virtualshoppingmall.com.pk.
Okay. Great. Yes, sir.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdur Rahman, and I'm a director in Technopack Industries. We make auto parts for different OEMs in Pakistan.
So is a sheet metal or plastic, or which kind of auto part?
We are in many different technologies, sheet metal as well as aluminum die casting, CNC machining.
Okay. Okay, great, very good. You have CNC machines for machining.
Sorry?
You have CNC machines for machining, I guess.
We have about 28 CNC machines.
Okay, and you are in Karachi?
Yeah, we are in Karachi.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Good morning, my name is Ali Allahwala. I'm a director in the same company, Technopack Industries. And I attended your first seminar that you conducted at the start of this series. It was very insightful and looking forward to learn some new stuff today.
Okay, great, very good. Very good. Let's hope we can do something.
Looking forward to it.
Right. Okay, so the second row.
Okay, I am Zubair. I am a chief executive at Foresight Research, which basically is a market research company.
Nice.
Anis Rahman, export director, and from Dollar Industries, Pakistan.
My name is Rashid.
Yes, sir.
My name is Rashid. I am from Dollar Industries, Pakistan, looking for manufacturing.
Okay.
I'm Karan Shahzada from Citizen Watch Company, Excelsior Watch Company. I am sole distributor of Citizen watches in Pakistan, and also I have my furniture company as Awais Furnishing Company, a factory in PIDC, and also I am having a sales promotion company where we make goods for multinationals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Saud Piracha. I'm the managing partner in GSM Textiles. Mainly we are into export of home textile products, and I am primarily looking at the marketing of my products in the European and the US market.
Mm-hmm. Great.
These two over here are with me. They are students studying. He's studying in US, and the other studying in UK. I just got them along, so they can also have some sort of an idea.
Fantastic. They are learning engineering or BBM?
BBA.
BBA. Great. Very good. Great. Third row.
This is Mohammad Ali Chuptai, and I'm director in brand.com. Basically, we do advertising and marketing for different brands in Pakistan. I also do distribution of different brands of consumer goods, FMCG.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, Hi, my name is Asaf Ishtiar. I'm Chief Executive of Packaging Company.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. My name is Asim Zafar. I have my own family business and we are into automobiles and have authorized dealership of Suzuki automobiles in Pakistan.
Great, very good.
I've had a chance.
Nice meeting.
I've had a chance to visit dealerships in Delhi also. So it was a.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
My name is Farooq Sheikh. I'm a professional marketer. I've recently concluded my work with Tapal. I was working there as a general manager marketing. Now I set up my own company with the name of Babelfish Consultants, and I'm working with local and international clients, and I'm also in negotiation with one of an Indian client who is coming into Pakistan.
Okay, great. Actually, I spoke with 2-3 people who are into manufacturing of tea gardens.
Yes.
And I had spoken about you, that the possibility of providing tea to Pakistan.
Sure, I can connect you with Mr. Tapal, and we do import, as we have exchanged few emails, that
yes.
The main source of tea is coming from Kenya, which is like 80%, but we can definitely look into that.
Right, great, fantastic. Now, some of you sitting there, here I am Parimal Merchant, and
hi, I am Professor Dalal. So I met couple of you when I was there last time. Imtiaz bhai, did you get the email?
Yes, sir, I got the email.
Right.
Great, very good. So some of you who are there and some of you we are meeting for the first time. We start, yesterday I was with someone who said, I want to attend your program, and I want to attend the program to get knowledge. And then I was little not very happy with this question of coming to get knowledge. I suggested that we should be result oriented. So the whole
वहाँ से कनेक्शन अभी दोबारा थोड़ा सा ये डिस्टर्ब
Yes, are we back?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, what is your experience in whatever interactions we had so far in terms of being effective and whatever we are doing, which way we can be double, our impact should be double. So what stops us from doing it? What do you think? Somebody told me, all that you talk about is very nice things, but is it really practical? So what are your views about this? And yeah, once you tell us something, then based on that we can take it forward.
I think it is because I have attended your first workshop. So initially, people may have that perception, but there has been some reality, and they are definitely practical, because you have also shared some of the case studies that people have grown the business from 50 lakhs to 5 crore or 5 crore to unlimited amount of money. So, but they must have done something in a very structured and in a very defined. So they were very clear what they want to do and what they have. The passion was there, and so they have controlled. I think they have been able to manage their fear, because as a business owner, the fear is the one thing. Because when I was coming into this consulting 5-7 years ago in Canada, one of the fear was that I've always been like receiving a paycheck. So when you have your own business, you have to write your own paycheck, which is the hardest part. So once you are able to control that fear, then I think you can achieve whatever you want to, and you have to define your destiny.
So what you are saying, one of the thing could be fear, but it's not that everybody has fear. There are some other issues also.
True.
So fear could be one, but it is for you because you are coming from a secured job to a kind of doing consulting. But there are people who are already in the business, and if they have to talk about doubling the profit, It sounds very easy to talk, but very difficult to implement. So, what kind of challenges we face?
I think it's about the paradigm shift. I mean, you know, when I was coming into your workshops and I attended to a so I think you know, one thing that we like to buy is a contentment. You know, we are satisfied with what we are doing. So we were doing something. We are doing a business of, for example, in 100 base point, and we are doing 105. Our life is set. Our children's life is set. So we don't get that drive. You know, the paradigm shift which you are trying to create is okay, we need to double. So, and well, you're saying so repeatedly that growing is less risky. So that's the mindset. You know, that's the mindset that we need to inculcate in ourselves. And that's the biggest challenge. And you know, I mean, what I come to realize from myself, that change is the biggest thing. So it doesn't happen, and it will not happen by attending just 2 or 3 workshops. But I think the seed will be there. And over the period of time, perhaps we will nurture it to grow it further. So if we take that...
carry on. Complete, please complete.
That's the point that I want to make. You know, it's the paradigm shift.
This is my experience with many business people here all across. Those who are in business for many years, they claim to be contented. They say that इतना ज़्यादा पैसा कमा के क्या करना है? No, ultimately तो दाल रोटी चाहिए. Ultimately, they become very philosophical. And there is nothing wrong in philosophy. The point is that sometimes it is sour grapes. हमको लगता है कि हमें नहीं मिलने वाला है, हम लोग नहीं कर पाएंगे, इसके लिए हम बोलते हैं कि हमें करना ही नहीं है. So to that, my general our response is that business is like playing game. If you are playing chess, every time you should play it better. So it's not that we are greedy and we want more money, and success and excellence in business is not for money alone. In fact, money is only an indicator that we are doing our job better. I am into the business of, say, selling this diary, and if I'm able to sell it well, then only I'll be making profit. If there is a 2013 and my diary is 2010, I try to go on selling it today, nobody buys, I may be working very hard. But the fact that if I am doing my job well, that is reflected in profit. So business is not really so much for greed for making money. Business is for doing excellence. Every time we play a game, we should be always trying to do it better than what we did before. So it's not so much an issue of being contented. Sometimes it's an issue that वैसे भी हमसे नहीं होगा, ये बड़े लोग हैं, हमेशा बड़े रहते हैं, we can be only at certain point, and then to keep ourselves happy, we may come with this kind of mindset that let's be happy with whatever we are. Often we are misunderstood, and many times people think that we are promoting thinking too much about money. It's not money by itself. We would repeatedly like to tell, when we are doing business, we must make profit. With that profit, you do whatever you want. You do all charity. There is no issue. But when we do, we should do to win. Now, when we do to win, what kind of problems come? Now, I'll tell you some of the problems that come here in India. One of the problem is that there is a tough competition. And pricing is what ultimately matters, that ultimately people want it at a price which is virtually unviable for us. So we go on ending up losing a lot of business ultimately because the price keeps on going down. Second problem that we in India largely face is that everybody wants a lot of credit. So we start with 30 days credit, it ends up with 60, it ends up with 90, and our money goes on getting blocked. Third, we have a big tough time in getting people who are motivated enough, in the sense that the way we would love to interact with our customer, whether our people are motivated enough or how to go about doing it. So our FMB students here in India would tell us, I need only 4 people, good 4 people. One, a guy who is good in marketing, who should be able to sell refrigerator to Eskimos. Then I want one person who should be very good in production. He should be able to cut the cost by half and deliver something, everything within 24 hours. I need one good person of finance who will be able to manage all our money itself as a profit center. And I need one person, good HR manager, who can get me 3-6 people like this. If I can get 4 such persons, then you know in our business, sky is the limit. This is what is a wishful thinking of most of our family business students. Our experience says that there are no such wonder magical people. If you happen to get on someone, is good, fantastic, is nice, but we can't be waiting for them. It is our task to start with whatever is in hand and to start guiding it in the direction of performance. So one common dialogue one of our professor keeps on saying, रोने का Yes. So it says don't cry and don't complain about what we don't have. Let's start making better of whatever we have. So if we have a person who is here, if we can help him take it here, that's good. We don't expect that all top level persons should be available with us all the time. I want best of the customer, best of the team, best of the finance, best of the thing. Fantastic. If we can do it, nothing like it. But if we don't have, no problem. We go on building step by step to the next level. So this is where is one issue that people in India generally end up facing. Any other feedback you would like to share about what is your thinking on about whichever session you have interacted? We had discussed about 3 things. One thing is reception, reflection and internalization. So something about reflection. Whatever we had discussed in last 2-3 months whenever we interacted, whatever are your reflections? Yes, this is exactly what happens in our MBA class here. Once we have a question, for 5 minutes there is a silence. So this is very normal.
I've got a comment.
Fantastic.
But I'm not sure whether it's relevant to the question that you've asked. But it's
no problem.
It's a concern, and I would like to discuss it and see if there's some possible solution or some brainstorming that we can do on it.
Fantastic.
So, when you talk about how to grow the family business and what we can do to make it more productive and efficient, so we talk about genuine business issues, managing people, managing how you work, growing, sharing your profits, whatever, all of that. However, sometimes in Pakistan, I mean these days, and I'm sure most of us would agree here, that we've got issues that are not genuine to how to grow the business, but they're infrastructural issues. So, like my company, for example, I'm a part owner in a company that is highly capital intensive, which means that we need to invest a lot of money into machinery, land, building, in order to manufacture our products. Now, when we face issues such as security issues, issues of electricity, gas, transportation, so our labor cannot reach our manufacturing facilities in time, so there are production losses. We can't meet orders that have been given to us by the OEMs. So those are issues that I believe should be taken. We should be able to take them for granted, just like a human being. Nobody begs for air or oxygen. We just get it. It's for granted. These are things that a business should get for granted from its state or the government for it to function. Now, as a family, being a part owner in a family business, there is a concern amongst the shareholders that there is this conservative approach, and rightly so. I agree with it that we cannot go. I mean, we have a real desire for growth. We want to grow. We want to double every year, but there is a high risk that if we put all of our eggs into this particular business and something beyond our control goes wrong, we're going to suffer. And everybody has their own needs, so everybody's kind of protecting their interests and not voting for the fact that we need to double, we need to reinvest, and it's, I agree to a certain extent. How can we get around those kind of issues that are, in my opinion, they're not genuine issues relating to managing the business, but issues that are very pertinent to the overall scenario?
Fantastic. And I think I have interacted with around 400 business people in Pakistan in different forum, and this is one of the thing which is on the top of the head of almost all the business people there. It is a real issue, and I like to respond to it, but I'll wait for a while and have some more questions and then respond to this.
Sure.
Yes. So other questions.
I think there was somebody talked about contentment. If we have if a business owner has achieved to a certain level, he's contented. He does not want to go beyond that. But I think these are also two interconnected issues, like what Mr. Ali Alawala.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Ali Alawala just pointed out that if a business owner has one plant and he's contented because of all these things as well, that he knows that what challenges he's going to face if he's going to put up another new plant. The government challenges, the capital requirement, the law and order, and all those things. But I think, despite of all these things, I've seen few people that they have grown in these circumstances as well. They have overcome these challenges. Now, as my question from your end is, like, within Indian business environment, can you give us some examples that I know India and Pakistan, as some of the issues are very common, that how they have overcome these challenges? I know the government is relatively more supportive, or there are some challenges over there. There are political parties who might be engaged on that front or not. I'm not aware of that in detail. How they have overcome those challenges and grown? Like, you have shown some of the examples where we were more the story was shared more on what the result was achieved. But if you can give us some of the challenges they have faced in between and how they have overcome.
Sure, we do that. We come to it. Some more questions.
In my opinion, I think we are not contented, but we lack on focusing business critical drivers. We always focus on manufacturing, selling, and try to involve ourselves on tiny issues, not board issues. So, in my opinion, business leaders or owners should focus on critical business drivers like competitive service levels, stakeholder value, relationship, customer, continuity, urgency, blah, blah, blah.
Fantastic. So, there are two levels of activity. One is strategic and one is tactical. Now, the business people grew over a period of time being engaged in tactical thing, in daily handling the customer, supplier, people, machine, everything. Now, we need to switch from tactical to strategic, which is a little new area, is a new country, is a new mindset, and something that we are groping around, we are learning the ropes. So that is a transition which you are referring to. It's perfect. 1 second. I'm just asking Professor Dalal to get today's newspaper. No, Times of India. My whole idea was that, one of the things that we learn in business is that whatever we want to do, we are not alone. We are not operating in a vacuum. There is something called environment that affects us. So there are some 5-6 factor and political. There is some word called PESTLE. P stands for political environment. E stands for economic environment. So if you are in Europe and if the crisis of Euro was taking place and you are being affected, if you are in one country where exchange rate is at certain level, say Japan, at some level there it was very attractive for them to export, but the yen rises and suddenly it becomes very unviable to export. That is an environmental thing. Then there is something which is a social thing, where a certain kind of mindset of the people affects the thing. Then there are technological changes. So we were using dial-up phone, and now we have push button, and we have mobile, and we have email, and many things related to technology changes. And there are legal changes that we were doing into some way, and some other way law goes on changing. Now this environment is not in our control, and we are going to be affected by the environment. So first and foremost, we cannot ignore the environment. At the same time, in the same environment, different people perform differently. So then what is the question? If there was one company which went from 10 crore to 100 crore, was operating in the same environment in which the other company, which at 10 crore was complaining about all the handicaps. So there was one particular film about garment export in US in 1970s. In 1970s, US garment companies were very happy and stitching there and delivering there in fat profit margin. And now the Asian countries started developing and started exporting garment to US. So the US companies started complaining that after all, these people are paying a few cents to workers and they are taking away our job. So first and foremost, it should be banned. They wanted imports of garment to be banned. Government could not do it. So then they started advertising. So there were big advertisement in US that be proud for our country, be American, buy American, boycott Asian products. But the customers did not agree to that also. And eventually, the garment companies in US had to think that what is it that now we can do? Now we cannot complain anymore about not being able to meet the competition from this. So garment companies in US came up with a very different kind of response whereby they are also prospering, Asian imports continue to do, and today what they have done, they have made Asian companies a cheap labor supplier, and the real cream continues to remain with American companies. Now the moral of the story was what? Environment is not in our control. Whatever is the environment is taken as given. It's very nice to say that government should provide this, society should be like this, law and order should be like this, whatever it is, it is. But within that, people are living, people are growing, all life is living as normal. I just wanted our newspaper here just to tell you that what kind of thing that you are talking about in Pakistan are the kind of thing taking place here in India. The only thing is, in India, these things are not coming as a top page, front page stories. There was something in Peshawar in Pakistan. There is something similar happening in Naxal. It's in Chhattisgarh in India. There are people kidnapped there. There are certain gangs operating in Karachi. There are certain gangs operating in Bombay. Now the question is that environment given, after all, today we are already doing business within that. Today already we are building within that. Somehow we have learned to live with the environment. Then the question is, with the same environment, what is it that we can do? If somewhere I am not very sure about myself, it's very, very nice and easy to keep on grumbling about the environment. On the other hand, given the environment as it is, what is it that I can do? This, once we start thinking, maybe some other forms of thinking will come up. If you are so frustrated with one environment, go and do business in another environment. Who stops you? Set up a factory in China if you want. Nobody stops you. But the whole question is, the moment we say that all the problems around, you will be able to see a lot of problems. The moment you say the opportunities around, you will be able to see tremendous opportunities also. After all, in front of the same thing, one person grows, another person keeps sitting. What is the difference? The difference is, where do we focus on? Today in India, in Pakistan, look at the kind of opportunities that we have. We have a tremendous capable workforce who can understand technology very well. We have people who can work. We have people who work very hard. We have people who can understand English. We have people who can understand whatever the current technological things are there. So we are having all these resources. can we start looking at opportunities in the world? And you see there are tremendous opportunities. So as far as the environment is concerned, not only me, whoever comes and gives you any answer, it will not be convincing because nobody can change the environment. Within the environment, we focus on what are the things that we can do, and you will be surprised the kind of environment that people in other countries have faced is much worse than what we have faced. 1950 South Korea, poverty was terrible. I meet a gentleman who is an 80-year-old in South Korea, and he tells me that people in your country had such great leader by the time you all became independent. And we in South Korea were thinking that if those kind of great leaders were in South Korea, we would go where to where. And now he is asking me, what you guys have done to mess up your country so much? Because South Korea in 1950 was in dire poverty. 1970, among the richest, fastest growing country in the world. They are a very good producer of steel, whereas they have no iron ore and they have no coal. They are the largest shipyard in the world, whereas they didn't have their own shipping line. Now the point was very clear. We have many handicaps, but we have also many strengths. Yeah. So in the same difficulties, those countries, they focused on what we did. So I think I told you a story about personality improvement program, strength and weakness. Do we keep on fighting with our weakness, or do we go on building on our strength? As an economy, as a city, as an industry, we have both opportunity as well as threats. Do we keep on looking at threats, crying about threat, or do we focus on leveraging on opportunities while covering for the threat very well? I'm not saying that we take blind risk. I don't know English, but I am very good. You know, in India, there is one area called Alang, where there is a lot of ship breaking industry. All over the world, when ship breaking is to be done, they go to Alang. Now the top businessman there, who is the number one there, he does not know English. He does not know reading and writing. Any contract is to be done, he puts his thumb impression. But his strength is, when he looks at the ship, he has a fairly good judgment about what is the salvage value this ship should be bid for. So how much of the steel will come, and how much of the pumps will come, and how much of the generators will come, and some good judgment as he has. So his strength is in assessing the value of ship. So what he does, he travels all over the world. He has one person next to him. He understands English very well. Unko bolo ye bhav hai. Then his friend will talk to other person in English. This is what is called covering up for your weakness, but don't keep fighting for your weakness. Identify on our strength. Just look at it in Pakistan, why IT industry cannot develop as much as it has done in India. You know, in India, you might have heard a lot of stories about last 10 years, but one of the biggest thing that happened was only IT. Nothing other thing has not changed much. But if the broadband, what you call optical fiber network, got laid down on the under ocean all over the world, BPO became viable, KPO became viable, offshoring became viable, and so IT industry shifted here. Why not in Pakistan? So the point is, I cannot answer to what can go wrong, but I'll just show you something. You know, here is today's newspaper here. Police draft charge sheet. Teen accused kept out until bone test. Now there is some particular thing that took place about some rape case. There is teen called her sister, lured her to bus. And now there is another thing related to rape. And now in India, if you will open the newspaper, at least 4 stories will be there about violence, about killing, about rape, about this. But at the same time, here is another newspaper that's called Times of India, which one story says, Delhi women gun for licenses. Rape triggers big rush to acquire arms. This is New Delhi. But there is another thing goes on. Why panel gets 17,000 emails suggesting changes to sexual crime law. Now this kind of thing goes on happening. At the same time, there are so many other things happening that this does not occupy mental space so much. So we talk about movies moving on, we talk about business going on, we talk about many other things that go on taking place. So this negative news do not occupy our center space. It seems somewhere, wherever I have interacted with our friends in Pakistan, whatever violence and is so much magnified, you know, as if nowhere else in the world violence is taking place, as if Pakistan is the only place where it is taking place. If you take number by number, more or less the same number of death will be taking place even in Europe. But there they boast as if, you know, they are the safest places in the world. And somewhere we keep on focusing on the disadvantages. I talked with that gentleman about exporting tea in Assam. And in Assam, the tea gardens, one of the biggest problem was that the staff there will be kidnapped and they'll have to pay ransom. And even now, I was talking to one student with whom that we were saying, they said that one of our manager was kidnapped and he has never come back. Now that happens, and still in Assam, tea business goes on. So there are risks for sure. We cannot undermine the risk, but at the same time, within that risk, there are opportunities. So can we sometime at least start discussing opportunities? We should be obviously careful about risk, but can we sometime discuss about the opportunities that is there in Pakistan? Some thought process. Your views?
I think I fully agree with you, because the reason is that this is real fact that in our countries, unfortunately, the negative parts are more highlighted. But and I have lived 6 years in Canada. I've seen that things happen over there as well. New York is also a very volatile city. There are areas which are no-go areas as well, but they are not boosted. And I think these when these things come up in the newspaper on the front page, they do impact on the society as a whole as well. Like people, I have met with so many people, I've been meeting people, they have stopped watching news, they have stopped reading newspapers because of all this, that they get depressed. The morning starts with death toll, the rape victims, and so on and so on. It goes on.
And just one sec. And I met a lady in Greece, and she told me she has stopped watching TV because every day she watched TV, she starts getting depressed about the whole Greece is going to go bankrupt. So there are things like this everywhere.
But
well, so this was, yeah.
But despite of all that, there are people who have kept their focus and they have set their priorities right. And they have, these are some of the environment is not in your control, as you have rightly mentioned. Now you have to find the ways to manage that environment, which is conducive. And you have to identify the trigger points, you have to be vigilant to identify the opportunities, and you have to knock them at the right time, and don't worry about all the areas which don't have. And I think you have very rightly pointed out that you need to take some, one thing more which I have observed is that when there is some kind of an energy level or high, we try to do all the things at the same time. What happens is, okay, I want to trim my weight, I want to start the walk, I will go to the gym, I will do my prayers.
Listen.
So when we try to do all these things together, like I'll manage this part of my business as well, what happens 6 years, 7 days down the road, or maybe if we can sustain a month down the road, we end up doing nothing. And we track loose of all the things. Like we have a जोश चढ़ता है तो भाई कहते हैं कि सुबह फजर की नमाज भी पढ़ेंगे, वॉक भी करेंगे, जो है वो दफ्तर भी टाइम पे जाएंगे, ये दफ्तर का ये एरिया भी टेक केयर कर लेंगे, एंड सडनली you end up like 15 days down the road because that's not practical approach. That you have to take, your body is not used to doing some things, your mind is not used to take that much stress, and you put each and everything at one time, you end up doing nothing. So I think focus is the key, that you have to be and prioritizing. The other
okay.
Prioritizing.
Yes, anybody else would like to share something about, so we can have more little discussion.
I think one point that I like to mention here is trying to, am I live there? Okay. I think another point that comes to my mind is trying to have some sort of balance in life. In our country, somehow we find celebrating things is a bad thing. You know, just today is a new year, and what harm could it have done to the society if some people were allowed to celebrate the New Year evening? You know, that's the mindset. We are learning to enjoy, to celebrate our grievance, you know, our mourns. So if there is a death toll, we'll continue to talk about that. But if there is a good thing, we'll not pick it up, we'll not talk about that. And somehow, you know, there are things which are beyond our control. But for example, the sports were, you know, we were deprived from playing sports in our country. Pakistan team was playing outside. So they are small things, but they bring a joy in life, perhaps diverts you from the problems of life. So I think we are missing as a nation, as a personal, you know, as individuals as well. In family, we'll talk about the problems. We'll not celebrate the successes that much, perhaps. So I think that's something as we need to learn, perhaps.
Fantastic. So now let's focus. The